Okay, so see, I don't have to start it now. I can just turn it back up. Okay. And so I'm going to get this joint hot. And as soon as it gets hot, sometimes you can see that green flame and sometimes you can't. So you just kind of have to keep testing it with the solder until it sticks. Okay, so there it is. If you watch it, you can see it goes from kind of a liquid to a solid. It just goes snap and it gets tight. It's kind of a neat little thing. Okay, so you can see now this part is pretty strong. It's holding pretty good, and that looks like it's working pretty good. I like that. Okay, and now we can just keep on going. Now for me, what I try to do is I try to make a little brace like this every 3 inches or 4 inches or so, right around there. And that seems to make it pretty strong. So the next little, say 1, 2, 3, would probably be somewhere in this area that I want to, put another brace. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, make sure that my track separation is good. And that looks pretty good to me. And see there again, I use these little pliers sometimes for a weight to hold it down so it's steady. Okay, so that looks pretty good. You see how nice and smooth that seemed to ride. And that's a little high on the tracks, a little wider. Cool, that looks pretty good. Alrighty, so let's put another little brace on there. And this one, I'm just going to hang it off to this side like this. And there again, there's a little brace. And kind of bend it that way. So kind of worm it in there. And then make a little loop on the end. It looks like that's about where I want it. Okay. And worm it in there again. Alrighty. You can see it touches that. That's kind of a bonus because I can probably solder it right there too. In case I'm going to lock it down. Alright. And I'm going to close pin it so it'll hold it in place. Now, it's not a real good way to close pin it over here. Sometimes you have to get a little creative with your clothespins. Okay. Well, you see me struggling here. Sometimes that happens all the time. Okay. Well, let's try it this way. Well, no. Okay, maybe this one. Maybe 2 clothespins. Okay, that seems to work. Alright, so we're going to put some flux on it so we can solder it. And start it up. Sometimes your rolling ball sculptures can get a little frustrating. And that was one example. Usually the start of the track and the end of the track is usually the most frustrating. And see there again, I've just got it barely going. Just enough to keep it going, but not really burning it. Okay, well, I guess it's not going to touch. That's okay. It's already touched on the track, so that's all I care about. I don't really care if it touches to the skeleton of it. Probably looks better that it's not touching anyway. Alright, so we're going to solder the track down. Alright. You can kind of see when you get one side done, the other side is already hot, so it solders real fast. Alright. Okay, we're going to continue with this building. You can see where I have the sculpture so far. I have a little turn, nice little turn, and let's just give it a test real quick to make sure that it's still working. Everything looks good. Very nice. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another turn, and this time, instead of making a nice turn, I'm going to make a real sharp turn. So we're going to do that. You're going to start off like this, and just bend it around. Okay. You got to be careful where the end goes. Poke your eye out with it. Okay. So I'm going to do that. Okay. And this is going to be a really sharp turn. And those are kind of fun because they look really fast. Okay, so there's our sharp turn. And of course you have to make it real, be able to pass below the other track. So I'm going to make sure we have plenty of room for that. So we got the second half going through. Sometimes that track just wants to love on you, I guess, I don't know. Okay. Until I'm not married. Alright, so now, and there again, when you have a really fast section that has a turn, you want to make sure that it banks really tight so that it won't fly off the track. You can see how tight of a bank I have there now. Almost, usually you want to have about a 45-degree bank, maybe less, maybe like a 20-degree bank, I guess. But when you have a really fast piece of track, you want to make it something really, tight, like maybe not 90 degrees, but maybe something up there, maybe 70 or 60 or something, just to give it a real sharp turn. Let's see how that works. That nice little spin there. Okay, so alright, so I've got my little, this is my little weight to keep the sculpture sitting down on the table. Okay, now I need to brace that one, so we're going to brace that real quick. A little loop, so we're just going to have to catch onto that, and then maybe I'll make it this time where it's coming above it. So it's going to come above it and go down. So let's see, it needs to be about that long. Alright, something like that. So, it's a little fun. Let's make our little loop on the end. See if it still fits hand. You know, it kind of gives you a little trouble. You don't have to go all the way to the end. You can kind of, let it tell you which way it wants to go. I'm going to go with that. So we're going to, you can see it or not, but kind of like that. Okay, and we're going to bend this part of it down so we get out of the way. So there we go. Kind of a little different, but that's going to work. And sometimes different is interesting, so I like different. Okay, so we get our clothespin to hold it in place while we solder it. And I got my flux, so I can make it stick real good. And now the propane torch. Count a little while. What I do is I stick the solder on there for just a tad, just to test it, see if it's melting. Sometimes I see it like that, it just melts right away. And